There we go. So, BJ, you talked about some of the changes to the network that carriers are going to have to make moving to a flat IP architecture.
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit more about some of those shared elements or potentially shared elements that a carrier might use?
Yes, Jeff. So there's a lot of discussion about hosted packet core elements and hosted IMS elements for that matter. There are probably some challenges in converting those elements and making them multi-tenant, if you like. Generally, when they come from the manufacturers, in my experience, they tend to be kind of built for a single operator. So there are some software changes that are probably a bit of a challenge to make them multi-tenant in nature, which is pretty important. But it can be done. I know there are a lot of customers out there doing that. And so I talked about Diameter replacing critical protocol SS7, for example. Diameter is just another one of the protocols or network elements in an Evolved Packet Core that could be layered in, and it could be set up for multi-tenancy very easy. I know at Syniverse we support multi-tenancy in our IPX network for Diameter interworking and services for multiple network operators as well. So I would see that this phenomenon of Evolved Packet Core could be very useful to rural carriers, and we should probably expect to see quite a bit more of that. I think the Syniverse IPX sort of all-flat IP architecture and our ability to handle multi-tenancy, that's what we do as part of our core business, would fit well in an environment like that.
Well, can you talk a bit more about kind of your history as coming from the SS7 to the IPX to moving to perhaps a shared network element, what some of those network elements might be, and then some of the challenges that the carrier is going to have to migrate over to that shared platform?
Sure, absolutely. So Syniverse has been an SS7 provider for many, many years, and we still are. We run as many SS7 messages this year, more this year than we did last year, and we've talked about SS7 on a declining scale for many years now, but it's more and more traffic at all times. However, we have spent a lot of time and effort and capital rebuilding our networks for an all-IP architecture. So what's known as the IPX proxy from a GSMA IPX network perspective will replace some of the SS7 elements used for SS7 signaling for call setup, such as ISUP. We're using what we call a diameter proxy, which is very similar to an STP that would do IS41 and GSM map interworking type protocols in an SS7 network. So those network elements do a lot of the same kind of work. They still set up and tear down calls, and they still have to do registrations and all the things that we normally know about. But it's just a different protocol. It's an all-IP protocol, and it can be run much more efficiently over a flat all-IP architecture.
Thanks again for your time. Have a great show.
Appreciate it, Jeff. Thank you. Good to be here.